Now it's important when you're doing a design like this that you have big eyes, a big mouth and a big nose if needs be. Now I've just gone for the eyes and the mouth, and I've made the mouth curl right round the pumpkin, a little bit like the Joker, and that way you get nice big areas where you can do your stitching. Then it's just a case of carving your pumpkin. I'm using a small sharp kitchen knife, and once you've got everything out, you just want to go over it a little bit just to get the shape a little bit better, and any lines you've got, just maybe cut those out as well. Now for the holes. So what you want to do, you want to get something that's pretty sharp, so a nail would be good, or in this case I've got a very small sharp screwdriver, and I'm using a twist and motion rather than force to make the hole, because when you get round to the space in between the eyes and the mouth, it gets a little bit flimsy, so you're relying on the sharpness and the action of the screw motion rather than the force of putting it in to make the hole. So you want to just work your way around the outside of each area that you've cut, so in this case the eyes and the mouth, and then once you've done that, I've gone over with something a little bit thicker just to go through the hole and just make it a little bit bigger. Now we all know pumpkin carving's a little bit messy, so once you put the holes in, if you just get a brush or some sort of scourer and just go over it lightly just to get all the little bits off, just so you've got a nice clean surface. So when it comes to actually stitching the twine, you want to thread it through and make a tight knot. Then, once you've done that, you just work your way along the eye, and I'm going to show you two methods here. So the first method with this eye, you've got crossover stitching on the inside and the outside. But when I get to the mouth, I'm going to show you how to do it, just so you have the cross stitching on the outside, and that looks a little bit better. And then it's just a case of making your way along the eye. What you want to do is maybe miss a hole or two, so then you can go back, and that's how you get the crossover effect. Obviously the design's completely up to you, and the beauty of this is if you do make a mistake, you can easily unthread it and then start again. Then once you've finished, you'll be left with some thread on the inside, and you just want to snip that, leaving about 1 centimetre, and then when you're left with the long bit that's on the outside, what you want to do is snip it, leaving about 6 to 7 centimetres, re-thread that on your needle, don't make a knot, and then just thread it through one of the holes. You may need to make another hole if you haven't got a spare one, and then again just snip it off on the inside, and then on with the other eye. You probably feel like you've got the hang of it a little bit more, and this second eye might be better than the first, so you might want to play around with a few little techniques and designs and get it exactly how you want it. Okay, so I'm going to show you something a little bit different. On the previous two eyes, you can see the stitching on the outside and on the inside, but with the mouth here, I'm going to make sure the stitching is only on the outside, and in my opinion it looks a little bit neater. Now I'm going to make a mistake on purpose just to show you, but what I've started by doing is threading it through, and the key principle here when you're doing it, you only cross over from bottom to top on the outside. So when you thread the needle through, if you thread it through the top of the mouth, you'll then put it in the next hole, or the next hole along from that, only on the top. So you come back through on the same side, and as I say, you only cross over when you're at the front. So you can see here I've made a little mistake there was stitching on the inside, so I'm just going to unthread that. So what I should have done, I went in on the underside of the mouth, and you've got to come back out on the underside of the mouth, and then you can make your crossover on the outside. If you want to learn how to grow your own pumpkins, I've got a video of growing pumpkins from start to finish. I'll leave that in the description, and I'll also leave a link for the needles in the description as well. And then if you carry on in the same fashion, you should have a pumpkin that was easy to do but looks really effective. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.